everybody! Today we'll learn applications of personal construct theory. In this episode, we'll look into Kelly's views on abnormal development, psychotherapy, and the rep test. Let's start with abnormal development. In Kelly's view, unhealthy people stubbornly cling to outdated personal constructs, fearing validation of any new constructs that would upset their present comfortable view of the world. Both the person's construction system and psychological disorders exist in the present. Because construction systems are personal, Kelly objected to traditional classifications of abnormalities. Personal constructs of psychologically unhealthy people may be too impermeable. Take, for example, this man who can't admit that he has a drinking problem even when his marriage is falling apart. Or too flexible, like this man who is too easily shaken by the impact of his food not organized properly. Although Kelly didn't use traditional labels in describing psychopathology, he did identify 4 common elements in most human disturbance: threat, fear, anxiety, and guilt. People experience threat when they perceive that the stability of their basic constructs is likely to be shaken. For example, during psychotherapy, if they see a therapist as an instigator of change, they will view that therapist as a threat. For Kelly, fear involves a more specific and incidental change in threat in a person's core structures. Kelly defined anxiety as a recognition that the events with which one is confronted lie outside the range and convenience of one's construct system. In other words, people are more likely to feel anxious when they are experiencing a new event. Kelly defined guilt as a sense of having lost one's core role structure, meaning people feel guilty when they behave in ways that are inconsistent with their sense of who they are. However, people who never developed a core role do not feel guilty. Let's now move on to psychotherapy. In Kelly's view, people should be free to choose those courses of action most consistent with their prediction of events. In therapy, this approach means that clients select the goal, not the therapist. As a technique for altering the client's constructs, Kelly used a procedure called fixed role therapy. The purpose of fixed role therapy is to help clients change their outlook on life. Together with the therapist, clients work out a role, one that includes attitudes and behaviors not currently part of their core role, and enact that role for several weeks. In writing the fixed role sketch, the client and the therapist are careful to include the construction systems of other people, like how will a client's spouse or parents or boss or friends construe and react to this new role. Clients must begin to interpret their lives from a different perspective and see themselves in a different role in order to change. Although the role should not be taken too seriously, it's only an act. Now we move on to the rep test. The purpose of the role construct repertory test is to discover ways in which people construe significant people in their lives. The first step is that a person is given a list of role titles and asked to designate people who fit them. Then the person is given 3 names from the list and asked to judge which 2 people are alike and yet different from the third. The examiner then records the constructs and asks the person to sort 3 more cards. After all these are completed, the examiner transfers the information to a repertory grid such as this.
Created using Powtoon.